Hello and welcome to episode 124 of the Daily Sales Message, where each and every day I provide you with a piece of simple and actionable advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff. My name is James Newell. I teach people how to sell for a living, and I've basically turned selling into paint by numbers. I've got a methodology of over 500 different individualized components that you can use to attract buyers, retain them, convert them, follow them up. Whatever you need to do in business, I have it mapped out in a really simple and easy and actionable way. And every day in an episode of this podcast, we share a little tidbit of that to help you on your way. Today, we're talking about MLE, which is an acronym, not an acrostic. It's an acronym, MLE. And it stands for this: minimum level of engagement. MLE, minimum level of engagement. And this is about having a minimum price, a bare minimum price that you don't work with people for any less than. And this more pertains to services really, but for product-based businesses, you can have a minimum order value, same kind of deal. But what's the least amount of money that you would charge somebody, the least amount of service you would offer them? And do you publicize it? Or could you publicize it? Because talking about the MLE, the minimum level of engagement, or the minimum order value, if you have an offering, it helps to segment and qualify buyers, those that can afford you, those that can't afford you. Because if I'm talking to you and I've got a minimum level of engagement of £5,000 a month for a minimum of 1 million months, whatever this ridiculous number happens to be, you know immediately whether or not you can afford that, whether or not you're up for that, and you can qualify yourself in or out of my offering accordingly. Same for products with minimum order value. If I know I've got to buy at least £1 million worth of whatever you're doing, and I only really wanted £500 worth of it, then maybe you're not right for me. But it's an interesting thing to consider including in your messaging to help qualify buyers, so you're just not wasting your time talking to the wrong people, and you're not wasting your buyers' time either. So that's it for this episode of the Daily Sales Message. Tomorrow, in episode 125, I'm afraid I'm going to have to let you down. I'm afraid I really can't help with this. I'm going to have to let you down, but I'll explain all about it in tomorrow. So make sure you tune in for that. But I can assure you it's nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with me. But tune in tomorrow and I'll explain all. I'll explain everything to you, and hopefully that'll be okay for you. Hopefully you're intrigued by that. You should be. Try and make these things as intriguing as possible. That's it for this episode. Thank you for listening and now watching. Really interesting to have video versions of these podcasts up. I'll try and make them as exciting as possible by moving around and gesticulating, but maybe as we go, the production value will increase accordingly. Thanks for your time and attention. I'll see you tomorrow for another exciting edition of the Daily Sales Message.